channel. So today I'm going to be doing a comparison of the Modern Renaissance palette by Anastasia up against this NYX palette. It's called the Perfect Filter palette, and I actually still need to take off the plastic to show you guys this. But I love this palette, and I would say it's a really good dupe for the Anastasia one. So here is the Modern Renaissance palette. This is by Anastasia, and it comes with 14 shadows and a brush. I love the colors in here. They're very fall-esque, but I feel like they're great neutrals to wear all year long. And then I found this dupe that I think is pretty close to the Anastasia one. This is what the NYX one looks like, and there's 10 shadows in here, so we're going to kind of compare pigmentation. Let's go ahead and compare the first base color. This is called Tempera, and that's from the Anastasia palette, and then this is the base color in the NYX palette. It kind of takes 2 swipes to get the same pigmentation, and it is a little bit more powdery, but I wouldn't say that's always terrible. You might just need to add a little bit more. This is $20. I forgot to mention this is $20, and the Anastasia Beverly Hills palette is $42. So this is $3 in eyeshadow, and the NYX palette is $2 in eyeshadow, and you get 10 in here, and you get 14 shadows in the Anastasia one. So this is the matte red shade in the NYX palette. It looks pretty pigmented and very nice. I would say it's a little bit powdery though. Now let's try the matte red shade in the Anastasia palette. It's called Red Ochre. Definitely like a lot more pigmented, but we're going to try it out on our eyes and we're going to see how well each of these performs. I'm honestly thinking the Anastasia one, the more expensive one, is probably going to perform better, but you never know, so let's see. I'm applying my Urban Decay Primer Potion on my eyelids, and I'm going to blend that in with my pinky. We're going to try to choose similar colors out of each palette. I'm going to use the base color called Tempera out of the Anastasia palette, and I'm going to rub that all over my eyelid. And it's going on very well. I'm going to just kind of blend that up to my brow bone. So now I'm taking another blending brush going into the base shade. It's a little bit whiter. The one in the Anastasia shade is a more creamy pink with pink undertones. The NYX one is very white. Yeah, more yellowy undertones on the NYX one, and the Anastasia is pinkier undertones. So I feel like the base is applied pretty well on both of those. I didn't really have to work hard for either of those to get the base nice. Then I'm going to go in with this burnt orange transition shade on that same fluffy brush. Create a nice semicircle right here. And then I'm going to take this shade right here. It's not as burnt as the one in the Anastasia. It's a little bit more of a tropical Tropicana orange color. So this one still definitely has more pinky undertones, while this one has more of the orange undertones. And I would say as far as blendability, they're both blending out really nicely. On my hand, when I swatched them, it looked like the NYX palette didn't have as much pigment as this one. When I apply it on my eyes, I feel like the pigment is very similar though. I'm going to take the shade Love Letter and go in my outer corner. And now I'm going to take a similar color right here. Again, it has more of a sheen to it. The Love Letter color that I just applied on this eye was a little bit more matte. I feel like it's not blending out as well as the red on this side. So now I'm going to take the shade Primavera, which is like a champagne gold, out of the Anastasia palette, and I'm going to go in the inner corner, in the inner third of the eye. Now I'm going to take this champagne color in the NYX palette. It has more of a yellow undertone. I'm going to go right in the inner corner of my eye as well. The Anastasia palette is definitely more buttery. And as you can see, this has more of a gold hue, and this is more of a white hue. My camera had to cool down for a second, so while it was cooling down, I just popped on some lashes. But now I'm going to finish the lower lash line. I'm going to take my flat definer brush and I'm going to go in with the shade Antique Bronze underneath my eye with a little bit of Love Letter mixed in. Then for this one, I'm going to take this sparkly brown shade and I'm going to take this red shade like we used previously, and I'm going to go underneath this eye. So it's still very pretty, but yes, it doesn't pop as near as much. This eye is definitely a lot more like tropical sunset, while this eye is definitely more romantic, which is not bad. I think they're both very similar, but it just depends on the look you're going for. This is going to be a hard one for me to decide. So looking at both eyes, I would say they're both very pretty. I'm super surprised at how great this NYX eye turned out. But overall, I'm going to have to say that the Modern Renaissance palette did win this one. I just love how buttery it was compared to the NYX palette. The NYX palette was a little bit more chalky, and this one was very easy to blend. The pigmentation was incredible, and I just think it's beautiful. So I have to say that the Modern Renaissance palette won. Of course, it's the more expensive one, but in my book, it really just did a better job. It just looks a little bit more professional in application. And blendability. So yes, I'm gonna have to say it did win. Now the packaging, I love this velvet, but it's already getting dirty. That's the only thing I don't love. The plastic you can kind of just wipe off. But I really think it did come close up behind the Modern Renaissance palette. It's a really good palette, so if you guys are not willing to spend 42 buckaroos on this one and you want to cut that in half and get the NYX palette, I would say it's really good. But definitely the Modern Renaissance palette is just better overall. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!